pick out a feature for most Pokemon games, and chances are, Junichi Masuda probably had something to do with it. The longtime director, producer, designer and composer has done everything from designing the intricacies of breeding shiny Pokemon in the main series, to writing the music for Pokemon Go. On Wednesday, Eurogamer was present at a brief Q&A with Masuda-san and other members of the European press, shortly after the Whirlwind conference, in which the Pokemon Company revealed its plan for not one, but 3 games, at various stages of development, to arrive over the next year and a half. The curious mobile Switch hybrid Pokemon Quest, as well as the upcoming, sort of spin-off Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and the mysterious untitled Pokemon RPG that's due in late 2019 are all being developed simultaneously by Game Freak, its first mobile game, first HD home console game, and first with co-op and cross-play of a sort, and then its first full RPG on the Switch. The studio, I'm told, has grown to well over 300 people in size. It's an ambitious plan even still. Read on for a full transcript of Masuda-san's chat with us and the European media. Can you elaborate on the smartphone and Switch connectivity? Masuda: so in terms of how the connection works, we wanted to make it as simple as possible. So on the Switch there's a connect button, you press the button on it, and then in Pokemon Go on your smartphone you press the connect button. So it's a very simple Bluetooth connection. In terms of what you can do with the connection, right now you can send Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and they don't go straight into your collection or your party. They enter into an area that's kind of like a safari park type thing, where you can see the Pokemon moving around in there, and you can actually go there and interact with them and catch them. But there are also some incentives to move a lot of the same Pokemon from Go, the same species, and there are some sort of mini-games you can play if you do that. Junichi Masuda at the post-conference Q&A. Do Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Eevee work like the main series, with exclusive Pokemon to each game? And will there be trading between the two? Masuda: similarly to the main series Pokemon games up until now, we've created 2 versions, Pikachu and Eevee, to have different Pokemon appear in both games, to really facilitate trading and make people want to trade with each other. So, there is that wireless trading and that kind of gameplay around trading with each other, so you can complete your Pokédex. How does this fit into the series, when it seems like such a clean break? Are there any references at all in Let's Go to other games that have come out? Do any old characters return? Unfortunately, all I can say is that they're based on the Pokemon Yellow version, and more details besides that are something that I hope people will look forward to. Can we learn more about the assessment you made about Pokemon Go and its success, and are there other things you've picked up from Pokemon Go to include in Let's Go? Masuda: so in terms of first about how I assess the success of Pokemon Go, of course it makes me very happy to see Pokemon Go be such a huge success and such a phenomenon, and really we think it introduced a lot of people to Pokemon, the idea of catching Pokemon, the idea of a Pokeball. And because of that we really wanted to expand on that kind of idea of what a Pokemon RPG could be, something that's broader, for everyone, and that's why we work on these games. So that's one assessment on Pokemon Go. With that in mind, obviously there are so many people that played Pokemon Go. I think we reached 800 million downloads, so we wanted to create a fun experience for them, but at the same time really make a fun game for fans that have enjoyed the RPGs up until now. So it's really kind of merging those 2 audiences into one game that we all can have fun and play. I'm trying to think of other things we picked up from Pokemon Go. I can't say about any other gameplay ideas that we picked up from Pokemon Go, but one of the things we really focused on was that experience of allowing for example, parents to kind of go out and catch Pokemon for Pokemon Go and then give some of those to maybe their kid, who's playing Let's Go Pikachu on Switch for example. So that experience is one of the things we wanted to really take a lot of care over for these games. There's probably a lot of things, I guess more subconsciously, that did come into the development of these games. Of course I worked on Pokemon Go. For example, I created the music for both of them, Go and Let's Go, so there's probably some things that maybe I'm not thinking about that did affect the Switch games. How do you think the core RPG players will react to the Let's Go games? I know Pokemon Go was immensely popular, but it had quite a mixed reaction amongst more hardcore players. How do you appease those players, and is it more a case that they should wait to 2019 for the game thereafter? Masuda, so the first thing I can say is that I've been the director on the main series Pokemon RPGs, most of them, up until now, and there are a lot of kind of core tenets or rules of the series that I've never broke up until now. For example, the whole idea of the flow of going into a battle against wild Pokemon, reducing their health and then catching them. That was one of the things that we just never wanted to change, but with these games specifically, I wanted to create a new experience for kids, and with this time I decided to shift that towards more of a kind of casual, lighter experience. So that's one of the things I wanted to do. And one of the things, for example, up until now in the tall grass you couldn't see which Pokemon were in there, so a lot of players would kind of avoid the tall grass in their journeys, up until now. And one of the big changes this time is that you can actually see the Pokemon before you actually run into and encounter them, so it's kind of changed the dynamic to much more of a proactive experience, where you're going out and seeking Pokemon. So for me, having worked on the Pokemon main series games, and Pokemon Go, both the players who have enjoyed our RPGs until now, all the fans are extremely important to me, but also the people who played Pokemon Go, and that was their first Pokemon game. They're also extremely important to me, and what I really want to do with these games is prevent both of these types of players from going in different directions, and I'm hoping that these games will kind of bring them together. So what would make me happiest would be if Pokemon Go players and traditional Pokemon RPG players actually come together and are throwing out Pokeballs together, either with a Joy-Con or using their smartphones, and really enjoying Pokemon together. And that's also one of the things I just mentioned about the parent maybe going out and catching Pokemon and giving them to their children, and sharing that catching experience. Just to quickly follow up on that, I know you can't talk too much about the 2019 RPG, but can you tell me when the decision was first made to develop that game as well as the Let's Go games? Did you decide to do LG first and then the 2019 game? And was that decision made to mitigate the risk of the more hardcore, long-term players maybe not being so into it? Masuda, so it definitely wasn't like a risk-avoiding thing. We knew that we wanted to create another Pokemon series, as we call them, for all the fans that have really enjoyed the games until now. The games that we are talking about for 2019, we've been working on those for a while. The same with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Part of it is because there's a lot of functionality with the Nintendo Switch, and we really want players to really experience what there is to offer here, so we're making two different games at the same time. And specifically for these games, me personally, I really want more kids to pick up and play with the Nintendo Switch. That's really the goal for me. Related to that, looking forward, do you envisage there being two series of Pokemon games, say a Let's Go series and a main series like Sun and Moon? Are there going to be two, or are they going to come together again? Masuda, so I'd say there's a possibility of that, should the games sell really well, and obviously a lot of people play them, but so I can't really commit either way, but if we find a way, I think it's possible. If we were to find a way to preserve the fun and kind of broad appeal of Pokemon, and also have that kind of more open gameplay, then that is one possibility. It's hard to say right now. So that's definitely those type of questions. I wouldn't say worried, but in some way I'm always concerned that we go and take it too far, so it's no longer approachable. I used to be a fan of top-down shooting games, like R-Type points to a nearby arcade machine, and as time went on that shooting genre just kept pursuing, so I just want to make sure that, at Pokemon, we don't make that same kind of, I don't want to say mistake, but go down that same direction. You said that the game is inspired by Pokemon Yellow from 1999? Can we find the same story as it was then? Masuda, so one thing I can say is that the game world, the overworld, the whole map, is very true to the original Pokemon Yellow games. And also the story kind of sticks to the story beats from Pokemon Yellow. One of the kind of reasons behind that was, with the games being released 20 years ago, I kind of imagined that maybe some parents who played Yellow version when they were kids, will now have kids of their own and they can kind of remember that adventure and maybe give some hints or tips to their kids that are playing the game. Maybe some other fun things. For example, the first gym leader, Brock. A lot of kids who maybe grew up with the animated series and not the original Red and Blue series, they may not even know he was a gym leader, so there might be some fun discoveries there. We know the Pokeball Plus vibrates and makes sounds. Can you elaborate on that some more? Masuda, I can only say there's some fun things, if you do put a Pokemon in the ball and walk around with it, without saying details, but one cool thing if you put your partner Pokemon, so maybe your Pikachu, inside of it, I think maybe there's some extra things that makes it feel as though the Pokemon is really inside the ball. But I can't give any details. So it was actually in the video. For example, if you shake it, it'll actually sounds like it's in there, so things like that, and also some things we haven't revealed, that are cool that affect the gameplay if you walk around with it.